I mentioned at the top of the show the ludicrous excuses given by America's Secret Service Director for not having police on the roof of the building used by the man who shot Donald Trump, plus the diversity and equity policies she's been pushing that might actually help explain why so many Secret Service agents guarding Trump were short women who seemed confused and even unable to holster a gun. The moral of this story, Rowan.
Well, the moral of the story is we used to have a song, Don McLean, about the day the music died. The assassination of Donald Trump was the day that DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion, died. It was shown for the absolute joke and farce that it is. Diversity and equity inclusion was the Kim Cheatle, who's the head of the Secret Services, one of Jill Biden's great mates, and an absolute champion of diversity, equity, and inclusion, who committed the Secret Service of the USA to having more women, I think it's 30% by whatever date. And we saw there played out in all, you referred the Keystone Cops. I had in mind more a kind of Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray comedy from the 1980s, which was what the assassination of Donald Trump mercifully was. You had security guards, imagine Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd there in the room looking around going, oh, we're looking out for snipers, and they hear these footsteps up on the roof, boom, boom, boom. They go, oh, wonder what that could be. Possums in the roof, is it? You've got the security guards wandering around. You've got the public's going, look, like the worst acting you've ever seen. Look, over there, there's a sniper on the roof. He's got a gun, and he's pointing it at the president. And then the camera pans across, and there's the president, carrying on, or the former president. This was a farce, and that's putting it kindly. The kindest interpretation on the attempted assassination on Donald Trump, the kindest interpretation was that it was a monumental stuff-up of epic proportions driven solely and entirely by woke ideology at the highest levels of the US government going right to the president. That, as I say, is the kindest interpretation. The alternative interpretation is more sinister, but let's stick with the kind one. The incompetence level. You had security agents shorter than the person they're protecting. You had female agents wandering around trying to put their holster in their thing, not knowing which way to look, do I put my sunglasses on, do I not? An absolute farce of what happens when you don't have the very, very best people. And the idea that you have a rooftop that has a slope, because suddenly Kim Cheatle has discovered that roofs have slopes to them. We can't possibly have our security snipers up on the slope. They might twist an ankle. They might slip over and hurt themselves. I mean, this is what every company in the world is forced to suffer through diversity, equity, inclusion. Every company in the world is going through this madness.
Is, like,
we saw
here I am laughing at
it,
Rowan. Here I'm laughing at it, but this much, the bullet going this much to the right, and we would actually be talking about absolute civic havoc in America, total disaster, a tragedy.
No question.
At the moment, it's a comedy, but gee, it's serious. It really is.